Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year! We have arrived at the new decade and yeah, I'm really excited for this year. I hope and I know it's going to be a great one because we're going to make it so. Today we're going to be continuing on our stock series and we are tackling a new topic and it's going to be about how to read an annual report. So if you are a stock investor or if you are wanting to be a stock investor, this is something that is very crucial for all of us because this is an essential skill for us to actually pick up nuances and more knowledge about the companies that we want to invest in. So the previous videos, what we talked about was how to pick stocks, getting a general sense of which stocks we want to identify before we actually narrow them down. And after that, we talked about what was it again? I need a memory jog. Okay. After that, we talked about how to analyze companies, getting to know the numbers that are essential. And these are the basic numbers that we just need to know first. And today we're going to be talking about how to read an annual report. So first things first, we got to know what is an annual report. And in a general sense, an annual report is actually what the company uses to communicate with us as shareholders or the general public if we are not yet invested in the company. And in this annual report, it's a document. It's a huge document actually where they detail a lot of things like how they perform in the previous financial year. And yeah, it's just a way to communicate to us and brag about all the things that they've been doing. And if they have not been performing, they will also let us know excuses or actually reasons as to why they did not perform the way that they projected that they would. Where we can find the annual report is actually on the company's website. There would be an investor relations tab. If they are a listed company, they will have it right there. We can download it by clicking on it. And another way that I like to access the annual reports is actually using a local or a country specific website. For us Malaysians, we have a few, and what I really like to use is KLSE Screener. I will link it down below, and what you do is you just type out the stock name that you want to check out, and they will have an annual tab, and you click the view button, and that will lead us to the annual report. Oh, okay, yeah, before I forget to mention this, please remember to subscribe down below, and if you enjoy this content, give it a like and stay tuned for more videos. And also check out all videos if you have missed a couple. Let's continue. Okay, so we talked about what it is and where to find it. Let's jump into how to actually read it because it's a huge document, right? And it is kind of intimidating, I'm not gonna lie, because when I first started reading annual reports, it was really bizarre. Because it was such a huge document, and if you don't know where to start, you get overwhelmed, and after that you will tend to give up. Or at least that was my case. So I'm going to pinpoint specific locations in the annual report to focus on first before you really want to read through everything. And I don't think everybody reads through every single page of the annual report. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so the first thing you want to focus on is the first few pages where you get an overview of what the company has done in the past financial year. Here's where they actually detail like their revenue numbers, and they give you beautiful charts and graphs, and they're all very nice to look at. So just study them for a bit and see whether the growth has been on an increasing trend. And they will include numbers that we have mentioned before, such as net profit, but I think they usually talk about operating profit or profit before tax because that's the bigger number first. And yeah, they will look at other things like earnings per share, and we will talk about that in a later video. Let's keep it simple at the start. Okay, so after the overview, what you will tend to come across next is the chairman's statement, and this is one of the sections that I like to focus on because it gives us a sense of what the chairman, sometimes CEO, mostly chairman, what the chairman is actually seeing from the company and how they have performed. He will tell you the market landscape, what has happened. Sometimes they will give you a little bit of an economic outlook as well. And yeah, the strategy and the vision moving forward. So that is a section that I would really recommend to focus on. And then after that, you'll have a couple of sections where they kind of detail who are the board members, which is the management of the company. That is also quite essential to have a look at, but I would recommend to look at that later on. What I would really recommend for us to look at after the chairman's statement is the management discussion and analysis. That is super important because that actually gives us a detailed insight to what is happening in their business segment. So this is a really good place to find out what the business does. Say they're doing a service, what different types of services they offer. If they are offering products, you can actually get a sense of what their different product lines are, what are the categories and subcategories within them. And for example, for the case of Nestle, they actually give you the portfolio of all their products that they actually hold within their company. Yeah, you get the idea, like Maggi, Nespresso, Milo, and all the other products. Yeah, things like that. So this is a part where I would spend some time on. Get a paper out, or if you are actually reading the physical report, actually I doubt it that you'll be reading a physical report because you only get that at AGMs, annual general meetings. If you have your laptop out or your phone out, just have a pen and pencil somewhere near you and jot down the things that really stick out to you and that are worth noting. And this is very important because if we are aspiring to be value investors and long-term investors, we're going to be investing for a very long time. So it is important for us to actually take note of what is going on with the company, what we like about it, what we dislike about it, our concerns, so we actually can remember it over a long time period. Because 5 years down the line, you're not going to remember what the net profit of Nestle is and what their issues were in this particular year, or what they were promising to achieve, or what they were projecting to achieve, things like that. You want to have a dedicated notebook, or you would like to have it on digital file. So whether it's your notes on your phone or whether it's an Excel sheet, make sure you have that handy. After the management analysis and discussion, the next section that I will really highlight for all of us is to look at the financial statements. This is the overwhelming or intimidating part for the most part, I think. This is where the numbers are at, and in the last video, we talked about how to analyze a company or how to analyze companies. This is where we're going to really take out our magnifying glass and have a look at the numbers. We have 3 statements to look out for: profit and loss, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. So on your annual reports, they will name it some other long name like statement of profit and loss, blah, 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 statement of cash flow, blah, blah, blah. So things like that, don't be afraid. It's just these 3 things that we want to focus on. Again, profit and loss, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. So we can explore how to tackle it in another video, but just have a look, have a play around with your current knowledge and take note of what you actually need to work on, because that is what I do when I read annual reports. I always have questions. Sometimes I get confused as to the accounting language. Like some of them would say, actually it should be pretty standard, but because there are so many different companies that issue annual reports, they have different formats for how they go about it. So sometimes when I'm looking at the cash flow statement and they have brackets, I have to remind myself, oh, does that mean that's a minus or is that a plus into the cash flow? So it's things like that, but that we will save for a different video. So after the financial statements, the 3 of them, what we should look at are the notes. The notes is where they actually annotate that there are further explanations for some of the things that they have reported in the annual report. And when we read the notes, we really get a sense of what is going on, the explanation of the numbers. And that I find really helps, because if we're just looking at the numbers alone, we're not going to be able to tell what's the full story behind the company. For example, say AirAsia had a giant disposal of their property, plant and equipment, which is their planes, right? I hope I'm getting this right because I'm not so technically sound here, but that was in 2019. So when they disposed of their planes, when they sold them off, that would have appeared in their that would have appeared in their balance sheet, and that as just a number is not telling us anything. It's when we actually dig and find out what is the news behind that we actually can understand what is going on with the company, and that's when we can make the informed decisions. So if you don't understand any numbers, there's a neat trick to this. You can actually email or call up the investor relations of the company that you are researching about, and they are actually going to tell you what it's about as best as they can. So yeah, I haven't done that yet, but I should. Actually, I should try and test that out. That would be pretty cool, and that would shortcut my research quite a fair bit as well. Okay, anything else that I need to tell you? Let me think. So when reading an annual report, you're gonna come across a lot of terms like challenging and optimistic. So you need to take note that it is the company that is speaking directly to us, and as much as they can, they want to portray the company in a very positive light. So take it with a pinch of salt, and yeah, trust your instincts and do more research. And when we are doing research out there, make sure that it is news instead of noise, because there is going to be a lot of market noise, a lot of people telling us their opinions of the companies that you are looking at. But remember, the decision is in our hands, and it is up to us to actually determine what we think about the company, and we shouldn't let anyone else's opinions affect us. I know that it's easier said than done, especially if the person is someone we admire or someone we think has more knowledge than us. We are definitely prone to listening to them. Take it from me, I've been there. But if we want to be an investor and a stock picker, we are going to need to stand on our own 2 feet and make decisions for ourselves. And I think that is it for this video today. So remember to hit the subscribe button. It will mean a lot to me. I've been looking at my analytics, and I can see that the vast majority of the people who are viewing my content has not subscribed. So please subscribe. It will really, really mean a lot to me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you stay tuned for more. Happy New Year, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!